Hi everyone, welcome back. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You leave a toxic relationship, you make a promise to yourself, never again. 6 months later, you are in the different relationship with a different person, and somehow the same dynamic plays, the same pain, and the same ending. You clear your debt, and finally, after years of struggle, within 2 more years, the debt is back in a different form, but it has the same weight. You resolve a conflict at work, you move to a new job, a new team, maybe a new city. And within a year, the same kind of conflict reappears. The same kind of person, the same kind of feeling, it's there again for you. And you start to wonder, is it me? Am I doing something wrong? Why do I keep attracting the same problems? But the answer is that you are not attracting these problems, you are being returned to them until you are ready to truly see them and do something very different with them. Namaste, I'm Kabir Roy, and today we are going to delve deep into a topic which is very common in our discussions, consultations, and trainings, that why do patterns repeat in life? Let me tell you a story. There was a man once who was very tired of problems, tired of conflict, struggles, fear, etc. So he set out on a quest to find a place where people live without problems, a place of real happiness. After a long journey, he came across a village. It had everything: lush fields, clean water, enough food, good homes, everything a human being needs to live there. But as he walked through the village, he saw something was wrong, something was not in the place. People of the village, they moved like shadows, eyes down, faces tight, no laughter, no life. He asked to an elderly person, "You have everything here. Why does no one smile?" The elder pointed to a hill on the edge of the village. "Because of Bhayasura, the demon who lives on that hill. He will come one day and destroy everything. So, what is the point of being happy now?" is what the elder said. The man looked at the hill and he decided to go up. As he climbed, the voices came from all directions. "Turn back, you will die. No one who goes up comes back." Like this, all the discouraging voices were heard by the man. But he kept climbing. And when he reached the top, he found Bhayasura. He was enormous, terrifying, filling the sky. But as the man stood there, not running, not flinching, something happened. Bhayasura began to shrink, slowly, then faster, until that great demon, the destroyer of peace and the thief of happiness, sat in the palm of the man's hand, smaller than a lemon. The man looked at him and asked, "If you are this small, why are people so afraid of you?" And Bhayasura said, "The fear is not me, the fear is in their mind." And this is the catch of everything when you are looking at pattern. That village is your life, and you have more than you think, more capability, more strength, more options. But there is a Bhayasura on your hill. And as long as you don't go up and face it, as long as you live in the anticipation of what might happen, you will keep moving through your life like those villagers. Despite having everything, you will still be going through the motions feeling nothing. And here's the truth about every repeating pattern in your life: the pattern is not the problem, the pattern is the hill. And the Bhayasura is waiting to shrink, but you have to climb them. In Jyotish, the planet most responsible for how you experience every repeating pattern is the moon. And most people here, moon represents the mind and they move on. But that is not precise enough. See, the moon is not only the mind, it is actually the mirror of the mind. It is the planet of emotional pattern recognition and emotional judgment. So, what does it mean in real life? Any situation, any pattern can arrive in your life, and the situation itself is neutral. What determines everything is whether you grow from it or whether you drown in it. How you perceive it, how you feel it, what emotional response is triggered in you. And that entirely is the moon. If you have a strong moon, you will look at a repeating pattern and think, I've been here before. What is this showing me? What do I need to do differently this time? Even in an adverse situation, a strong moon finds something to work with, something to extract, something to grow from. A weak moon looks at the same pattern and feels overwhelmed, trapped, victimized. Why does this keep happening to me? And then retreats, avoids, or repeats the same response, which brings the same result. The situation is the same. There are two moons, and you get two completely different lives. This is the secret behind the pattern repetition, recognition, and what you do with it. Now, I'll give you a specific example. Say, for example, your moon is placed in the sixth house or connected to the sixth house, or say, for example, it's afflicted in a way that it links to the sixth house energy. Then, during the moon periods, the sixth house energies are going to be activated all the time. Now, sixth house themes, when they run, they will keep on returning repeatedly and relentlessly. Now, the sixth house represents a lot of things. On one side, it represents debts, diseases, enemy, conflict, oppositions. And every time when your sixth house energies are activated, you feel it is like a loop. Like no matter what you do, the same problems find you. The same enemies, the same health issues, the same financial drain, everything. The fear sets in, not because the situation is unbearable, but because the moon is too weak to see it clearly and to do something with it. It's too shaken to respond wisely. And that is where most people stop. They conclude, I am unlucky, this is my fate, I cannot escape this. But here's what they miss. Sixth house is not only debt, diseases, and enemies and obstacles. Sixth house is also service, daily discipline, and the victory over enemies. It is the house of winning. The same house that creates the loop is the house that contains the victory. The prarabdha karma of sixth house is very real. Yes, you must go through it. There is no shortcut, no bypass. This is a dusthana, a house of karmic dues. But going through it does not mean being destroyed by it. It means facing Bhayasura, climbing the hill, standing there without flinching until the demon shrinks into your palm. When your sixth house energies are repeated patterns in your life, it's actually asking you to face that Bhayasura. This is the real truth. Now, there's one more layer to why patterns repeat. They are called retrograde planets. Now, say for example, if you have a strong planet in your chart and that is retrograde, or a planet running your current Mahadasha is a retrograde planet. So the universe will give you the same test again and again in that entire period of that planet's Dasha. It is not to punish you. Remember, it is not to punish you, but it is because a retrograde planet signals that there is something here that needs to be revised, a perspective that needs to shift, and a lesson that was not absorbed the first time needs to be completed. The retrograde energy says, go back, look at it again, and see what you have missed and do something about it, what requires to be done. And it will keep on returning you to that particular theme through different situations, different people, different years, until the internal shift happens. Until you stop reacting the same way and start responding differently, that shift, that internal change of view is what the retrograde planet is waiting for. So now you know how to actually handle a retrograde planet. And from there, you will be able to overcome your patterns. Now, having learned all these things, what do you actually do? In all of this, the repeating patterns, the sixth house loops, the retrograde test, the first and the most important step is always the same. Strengthen your moon. irrespective of your chart, irrespective of whatever planetary placements you have in the chart, strengthening your moon is essential for your entire life. Because a strong moon changes everything. Though it will not change the situation, but it changes how you see it, how you feel it, what you do with it. And when that changes, the pattern loses its power over you. Here is something very simple, something ancient, something that works. If you read one page of Bhagavad Gita every day, it helps you strengthen the moon over a period of time. It is not because of religion. It is because Bhagavad Gita is the greatest manual ever written for a mind under pressure, for a soul facing repeated tests, for someone standing at the bottom of the hill afraid to climb. It builds clarity, it builds equanimity, and the ability to face what comes without collapsing. It steadies the moon. One page every day, and that's the beginning of how you start to strengthen your moon. Now, every pattern that arrives in your life is asking you just one question. What will you do with me this time? Will you run? Will you repeat the same response? Will you let fear make the decision? Or will you climb the hill? The pattern is not your enemy. The pattern is your teacher. It is returning to you patiently until you are ready to learn. Some people will spend 20 years from the same pattern. Some people run around and face it once and it never returns. The difference is not intelligence. The difference is not luck. The difference is the moon, the way you see things. Is your mind clear enough to see things? Is your mind strong enough to act? Is your mind receptive to hear what the pattern is actually trying to tell you? Bhayasura is real, but he does not live on the hill. He lives in the emotional patterns that have not yet been faced, in the moon that has not yet been strengthened, and in the loop that has not been understood. And every single time when you stop running and turn to face him, he shrinks. Your chart tells you exactly where your Bhayasura lives, which house, which planet, which period, and what is it waiting for you to learn. In Jyotish Aarambh, we teach things like this: how to read your moon, how to strengthen it, what will the placement do, what is its emotional signature, how to identify the houses and periods where your patterns activate, how to understand what is the loop asking from you, and what will it take to break it. Jyotish Aarambh starts in July 2026. If this video made you think of a pattern of your own life, this is not a coincidence. This is your chart speaking. And of course, from your chart, you can know a lot more. If you want to join the course, the links are in the description. Whatever you have learned from this video, try to think on it, delve into it, and try to strengthen your moon. There are many ways to do it. One of the ways is what we have spoken about in this particular video, which is very easy to do. See, the patterns will keep returning until you climb the hill. So it's now totally up to you. What do you want to do with those patterns? I hope you have learned something new. And if you have liked the video, please like it, share, subscribe it, spread the knowledge, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.